Hi guys, Maverick Veteran here. You have no doubt heard of the term PESCO and the future EU Army. PESCO, or Permanent Structured Cooperation, is just the final stage of an 8-stage strategy to form not just an EU army, but an entire EU military and security force. PESCO is the only stage which we have not yet signed. However, when the Lisbon Treaty takes effect next year, we are automatically signed in. We have a constitutional crisis within the UK as our common domestic law is ignored in favour of international law. As I stated last year in London, Mrs May's government, and indeed Parliament, intends to hand over HM Armed Forces and security services to Brussels as part of EU military unification. It's worthy of note that EU military unification will take place irrespective of the Brexit result. This is a separate agreement and treaty and guarantees the UK paying into the EU Defence Fund. Tony Blair recently claimed ownership of launching Defence Union with Jacques Chirac at the Munich Defence Conference. You could say the Lisbon Treaty Sleeping Beauty is now awake. Tony Blair said it does not help the Brexit case if you explain Defence Union properly. It has to be handled carefully. Francois Fischer, head of EU intelligence, recently said at an EU security meeting, Britain will not be leaving as far as intelligence and security are concerned. And that may be a secret, but you will not leave. Head of EU External Action said, we are afraid to use the term Defence Union. You know what to do now, i.e. bit of deception, don't talk about it. The current Brexit deals puts Her Majesty's Armed Forces into an all-in Defence Union scenario with no way out. And whenever the government says security, it really means Defence Union with the UK in as a fully paid up member. The EU already has a foothold in HQ Northwood that is staffed by up to 100 EU personnel and furnished with not less than 2 EU flags with yellow fringe detailing. These are military or Admiralty flags and make the statement that the EU is already in charge. The government is still denying EU military unification despite the growing awareness of it within the public domain and verifiable intelligence gathering, in addition to military advisors deployed to various locations within Europe to set up the infrastructure for the unification. Why is this? Well, it involves speaking the truth. So what is the truth? Well, firstly, there's what people want to hear. Then there's what people want to believe. There's everything else. Then there's the truth. Truth means taking responsibility, which is why the government doesn't like to use truth. The untruth and deception is gaining in its intensity and provides for a very clear and present danger to our national security. Ursula von der Leyen, German Defence Minister, wants to, and I quote, top out Defence Union next year. The question that now needs to be asked is, with what? It's worthy of note that von der Leyen is also now President of the EU Commission. Current intel suggests it means control of our latest aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth, our Trident-equipped attack submarine HMS Vanguard, and the Government Communications Headquarters GCHQ, in addition to MI5, MI6 and Five Eyes, which is the intelligence gathering and sharing network between the UK, US, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Whatever action we take to prevent EU military unification, we must do it fast. as next year the Lisbon Treaty comes into effect, and if we are still in the EU, we lose the power to veto EU military unification. And in 2022, the UK will lose all control of its armed forces and security services. Our military must now be front and centre of the leaving debate, or the rest, without our military, is irrelevant. Currently, when service personnel swear their oath of allegiance, that oath is to Her Majesty the Queen, her heirs and successors. After the Lisbon Treaty takes effect, that oath will be relinquished, and a new oath will need to be sworn to Brussels. When I signed up, I gave my oath and promised to stand, fight and protect Her Majesty the Queen and my country from enemies both foreign and domestic. That oath still stands, and I, along with fellow veterans, will not turn about and swear an allegiance to Federica Mogherini's New World Order or Frau Merkel's Fourth Reich. EU military unification is a single point command and control and single point budget of all our military and security services, along with the research and development of hardware and technology. To allow EU military unification flies in the face of our constitution and history, and is the biggest disrespect to the fallen and others that fought so fearlessly and selflessly to ensure the freedom and value of a democracy we should be enjoying today and long into the future. Anything decided for us behind the closed doors of the Cabinet Office that puts this nation in danger is treason. We must continue to campaign for Brexit and for the removal of the Lisbon Treaty before we as a nation lose everything. Thank you for listening. Stay safe.